My computer has to be honest, my computer hasn't been working lately for like the past, I want to say 3 or 4 months, maybe around that time. That's mainly because it's a little old. Even though it's a very good computer, it has all the good stuff I wanted. It's a little old. Like, it might be time to upgrade. I might do that, maybe not. Who knows? But let me just get this thing started over here. Hopefully, as people start filing in. Where are we? Okay, yeah, we are live. Okay, yes, this is good. I planned this. So thank you all for joining. It's another week, so let's do another video. I've however you want to see it. I think it's impossible to be tuning out videos multiple times a day, every single day, because they do become repetitive, and it's pretty much the same thing that we have been seeing. So that's why I don't do it. If I have something to talk about, if I have something like a topic that we could like discuss, I'm all for it. I'm not gonna go live just for the sake of going live, just for the sake of $3, $4, $5, however it is, and not really using this to beg for money. That's a big thing. I'm really against that. Hold up. Just want to make sure we're sharing. All right, okay. Everyone started filing in, so let's get this thing started. Basically, I want to talk about harassment, cyber harassment, playing the victim, paranoia, all that kind of stuff that's been happening with everyone involved. I say that because it's happening to multiple people, not just one single person, to where they're misinterpreting what harassment is. They're misinterpreting what doxing is. They're misinterpreting basic words. Be it I'm the one that says I have like a third grade education. Please. What I'm going to do is to teach, I was like one semester, maybe 2 semesters away from becoming a teacher. So I think I could kind of instruct you all a little bit. And I'm not talking about those who understand what these common practices are. I'm talking about those who like throwing out the word like harassment, ghosting, pretty much all that kind of stuff. So what I did was I was like, okay, how could I explain harassment to someone who is 5? Because I feel like that's the kind of mentality we have to deal with a lot of these people. So I was like, okay, let me explain the same way I would explain to a 5-year-old what harassment is. And it's basically when someone says something mean or hurtful, and with messages or photos, and they're telling you directly. That's a key point. Telling you directly, and it makes you feel scared, makes you feel worried, makes you feel bad. We don't like feeling bad, do we, people? That's pretty much harassment. Okay, someone saying something, someone basically giving any constructive criticism or any kind of criticism at all is not harassment. It's just someone able to use freedom of speech. We talked about that in our last lesson about just speaking their opinion. And I've always gone through the rule of, if there's something you don't like to hear, change the station. If there's something you don't like to see, change the channel. If there's a conversation you're hearing that you don't want to hear, leave the room. We are in a society that we don't have to cater to every single snowflake in this country. It's already pretty bad that it's leaking out. I'm going to turn this light down a little bit. That we already live kind of in a society to where a lot of people need to feel coddled with the whole pronoun situation and stuff, and that's a whole other conversation. And it's for kids and people growing up and people kind of finding themselves. If you're 40, 60, 70, but look like 100 or 200, and you're still having a hard time dealing with words that people say about you, I think social media is not the place for you. And this is a broad spectrum. I'm not singling out, Ophelia, I'm not singling out Jaime, I'm not singling out Annette, I'm not singling out Vanessa, I'm not singling out anyone. This goes across the board because I think it should be fair for everyone, and I tend to be unbiased, even though people like to say I'm biased just because I don't align with them or just because I don't agree with them. They like to be like, oh, well, he's on that side or he's on that side because he's not helping me in any way. I'm here to help you. As a matter of fact, Cecilia was live. Um, Cecilia was live the other day, I think like 2 nights ago. And the topic of if Ophelia is a provider came up. And like based on things that I know and based on like I guess common sense, I clearly said she's not a provider. I didn't insult, I didn't do anything. I basically confirmed what she's been saying about her own damn self. And I got a message coming in. Hold on. Okay. I basically confirmed, and I could have, been a lot ruder, but I think I was very calm, very neutral when I just said she's not a provider. Confirmed the exact same thing she said, the same thing that all her people have been saying. I agreed with it, I backed it up, and I supported it, but yet I was I wasn't insulted. They tried to insult me, but they can't, because I need words that have a little more than 5 letters in them to insult me. But she took offense to it. Ovelia took offense to the fact that I was backing up and all this stuff, and I think it's because I'm not diagnosing here. I'm not, being an armchair therapist or anything, but I'm just saying from what I saw, the signs are clearly um a persecution mentality. That's a new word for y'all. Y'all could look that up. But basically, persecution mentality. I think that's something very popular in like all the social media drama, especially in Raymondville, Mercedes, like that. I guess it hit that part of the valley like really hard for some reason. Um, it's basically a paranoia of you feeling that everyone's against you, regardless if they're trying to help, regardless if they are trying to do good, if they're backing you up, if they're supporting you in any way, but yet you feel threatened because your circle has gotten so small because you really have no one in your life, so you feel that anyone coming into it, anyone interfering with it in any way is an attack on you. And it really isn't that way. I think the world would be a much better place if people accepted that, hey, I might have a mental problem, or hey, this might be wrong, like something might be wrong with me. I should look into it. I should try and get it. But no, it's not what sells. It's not what people want to see. People don't want to see people get better. People don't want to see people move on, grow, and everything. People want to keep on seeing the same thing that they've been seeing for all these years because it's cheap entertainment. That's what I said. And it should be cheap entertainment. I feel bad for those who actually spend money to watch something that everyone else gets for free. And you could call it supporting. You could say that it's, keeping the lights on, keeping the channel going and stuff like that. Even if the money wasn't sent, the videos are still going to be coming. They people could cry that, oh, I don't have my phone, I don't have my light, I don't have internet, I don't have all that. Okay, well, if you're a grown adult and you want to be able to do these kinds of things, you need to find your own alternatives to doing them instead of putting your hand out, putting your hat out, and asking people, hey, I'm irresponsible. I may say I'm a badass, I might say I'm the best, I might say I'm the best there ever is, but yeah, I still need you to help me pay my bills and buy me food and stuff like that. There's nothing badass. There's nothing hardcore. There's nothing even worth bragging about if that's your lifestyle to depend on others just for you to get by another week, another month. Um, where was I on? Yeah, so that persecution mentality, it's basically when you feel targeted by others, and even if there's no evidence to support the belief, even if there's no reason for anyone to be after you, you just assume that, hey, this person's going to do something. This person's going to screw me over. This person's going to turn on me. This person's going to blackmail me. This person's going to get information on me. What kind of life is worth living? I feel like that life shouldn't even be lived, because if you have to be constantly checking your back, going through, excuse me, going through like background checks for your friends and stuff like that, that should be a clear warning sign that, hey, this isn't the life for me. I severely fucked up some point in my life to where this is where I need to live every single day. And it's to where even like positive actions, you see it as a threat. Someone being like just friendly puts your, paranoia blinders on, and you just want to know, what does that person want from you? Why is this person saying hi to you? And that leads to people just always seeing themselves as the victim, to try and justify whatever their narrative is, to try and make sense of what's going on in their lives. It's easy for them to say, hey, I'm the victim, I need to make a police report. I'm the victim, I need to get an attorney. I'm the victim, I need, to surround myself with people that could, protect me and stuff like that. Okay, Chris, I disagree. In my opinion, I think she needs to be off the internet. She needs to be sanctioned and evaluated by a professional psychiatrist. And deep-seated issues has gone too far. I agree with that, but I can't go and say, get this person off the internet. I can't say, hey, everyone go stop watching this person. Everyone go stop subscribing to this person. Some people do. We've seen people do it, but I can't bring myself to say it, because I know what their defense is going to be. Who the hell is he to say this? Who the hell is he to do this? Who the hell is he to talk about this? Who the hell is he to even, breathe the same air as me? Hey, there's a reason I left the valley, okay? But sometimes outside forces are needed. Some people are considered 1096. If you ever hear that on a police radio, 96 or 1096, it basically means the officer's saying they're dealing with a crazy person. So if you have police scanners and you want to like listen to, local or like an outside city's police chatter, 1096 is the one to look out for. That's when you know some shit's going on. But as well, yeah, there's no victims. That's why I think this whole police thing, getting the police involved and all this stuff, it's not going to go anywhere, because the same people who are going and making reports saying person A, person B, person C are talking about me, they're making me feel bad on the internet. Their words are interfering with me so much that I need to come all the way to this city to make a report. If person A, B, and C goes to their city, they could do the exact same thing, because everything is back and forth. That's why this isn't considered harassment in any way. In harassment, you take yourself out of the situation, okay? If a woman is being harassed at work because some guy keeps pursuing her, some guy keeps asking her out, bothering her, making her feel unsafe in her environment, which is what harassment is. It's workplace/sexual harassment. She doesn't continue to stay there. She doesn't continue to leave that opening for it to happen. She doesn't continue to interact with this person that supposedly makes her feel unsafe and harmed. 5150, that's usually in California. I believe the West Coast uses 5150, which is also one of my favorite Van Halen albums. And other states a little bit east use the 10 codes. And a little interesting fact, that was never a problem for different jurisdictions, for different agencies, for different states to use different codes until 9/11, when different agencies came together to help at the world at the Twin Towers, and agencies were having such a difficult time communicating because one agency was using 10 codes, another one was using um those longer codes. Same thing with phonetics, because there's the military alphabet like Alpha Bravo Charlie, but then there's also basic phonetics, which is I used to know all my phonetics, all the different kinds. But there's different kinds. So ever since then, like little by little, there's become like more uniformed in a lot of agencies, especially in the same area, using the same 10 codes and phonetics and stuff, just so there's no miscommunication, and especially in situations like that. But back to the topic. Back to the topic. Um, Yeah, so it's gone both ways. If it's truly harassment, you find a way out of the situation. If a page is harassing you, okay, we could use snakes and backstabbers, we could use Medusa and whatever other one they have to go after peacocks. If you don't like what's being said, instead of crying about it, making a big issue, taking up city resources and police, you could block it and you won't see it anymore. If you have friends that are constantly sending you these memes, these screenshots, these video clips, and it truly is harassment, and you feel like it's such a bother to you and it's making you feel so unsafe, let your friends know not to send you that stuff. Unless you're the type of person like, hey, go tell me what this page is saying about me. Go see what this page said today. Then you can't really say it's harassment because you're out there looking for it. And if you go and don't tell your friends like, hey, stop sending me this. I want to, get better at my mental health. I need to, take a break from all this. I would appreciate if you don't send it. That's you taking action. But if it's continuing, like going back and forth, watching what's happening, wanting to peek your head in to see what the other side is saying, you're not a victim because you're basically just trying to get more ammunition so you could throw something back to it. So that's why I say, like, no one's a victim. Now, there's a little exception to this rule, this whole issue with Kendrick. I feel like that's harassment because it's something that he wasn't in. It's something that he was dragged into. He wasn't doing any back and forths. And he's not retaliating. He's not doing anything of the such to try and get back, to try and get even, because truly it's not about bringing justice. It always bothers me when Jaime says it's about justice, but it's more about revenge. That's what it feels like. It feels like revenge. It feels like wanting to shut someone up. It feels like trying to be better than someone. It feels like trying to come out on top. Kendrick isn't doing any of that. So I feel like Kendrick might be the one. There might be two or three other people, especially when it comes to underage kids and stuff like that, to where, yes, those individuals do need justice. Those individuals are being harassed because they're constantly being used to target just to try and get at somebody else, which is such a weak ass tactic. We're better than that. A lot of us are. Some obviously aren't. But that's the way I see the whole issue with Kendrick. Hopefully he gets justice, but I don't think that opens the door for people who are involved in this back and forth to try and ride on those coattails. Like, okay, I'm gonna go with Kendrick, and so I could put reports on this person too. Meanwhile, there's evident proof that these people have been doing shit on both sides, for both sides, and there's no justice needed there. That it's just a timeout that's needed. Um, okay, man, I wasn't even watching the comments, so um, okay, I caught up in the comments. So yeah, if you don't like it, take yourself out of it. There's some individuals in this whole drama thing that I didn't want a part of. I took myself out. So I could say, like, yeah, it was bothering me. I didn't eat that. There's times where I get tired of making videos and I get tired of all this back and forth to where I'll disappear for like a month or two. That's what you need to do. You kind of need to take care of yourself first before you feel you could go and attack somebody else. Um, yeah, like having access to the internet is not like a governed right. There's plenty of people that do plenty fine without the internet. Just because it's there doesn't mean you have to use it. Just because there's alcohol in stores doesn't mean you have to drink it. Just because there's a guy on the corner who's a cousin of a nephew, of a brother, of a sister, of a girlfriend who sells, narcotics doesn't mean you have to go to them every time you get some money in your pocket. Just because there's, I don't know, street races going down on University back in Edinburgh doesn't mean you have to enter, because you will embarrass yourself like I did when I was driving my Volkswagen and entered that race. But that's besides the point. Just because it's there doesn't mean you have to use it. Just because the internet's there doesn't mean you have to go into it and say, hey, who could I fight with today? Oh, what else? And there's a lot of different things I want to talk about, but now I can't even think about any of them. Um, See, I had like a few things written down, but not a lot. Oh yeah, let's talk about doxing. Doxing's another popular one that people like using. Apparently, a lot of people think just because you know someone's full name and you share it on the internet, that's doxing. Just because you know the fact that somebody lives in Donna, that counts as doxing. That's not doxing. It's not doxing when someone puts it out there themselves. When they say, hey, I live in this city, and they get upset because someone else mentions it in some chat or on some other video, that's not doxing because you put the information out there. Another thing is, man, I'm thirsty. Another thing is, and I use this term very, very, very loosely, public figures. Public figures have different rights when it comes to doxing, because people who could claim to be journalists, who claim to be paparazzi, people who claim to be like reporters or anything like that, they are allowed to have certain information and to circulate certain information just to, how would you call it? Just to, what's the term? Like in terms of ethical considerations. That's the word, ethical considerations. Because let's say I did a fundraiser for a hospital. And let's say I did a fundraiser for DHR over there in Edinburgh. And hey, send this money. I'm gonna go buy the items and I'm gonna go give it away to kids. And then the day of the fundraiser comes out and no one could find me, no one could see me, but someone's reporting, hey, Victor was seen in Austin. Why isn't he at his event that he's been promoting, like publicly? Why isn't he there? He's located at Austin right now. He is on Wallaby Street in Austin. That's not doxing, because I need to be held accountable if I'm a public figure doing things, saying I'm going to do things, but then things don't always come out that way. That's where that information isn't doxing and it's used for the public. If it's someone like my cousin who is doing, a barbecue plate sale, and she leaves she takes the money, leaves, and never does it, her information really can't be leaked out there because she's not doing this publicly. This is something that she did like in a circle of friends, so a friend of hers can go, hey, she lives at this address, this is where she's at right now, instead of doing her barbecue plate sale. That's doxing because that's private information. If it's someone who is known, it's a little more loosely. Like I'm sure there's better ways to explain it. Yeah, but morals, and it wasn't always like that. It wasn't always like that. Yes, I know a lot of the stuff with the Vanessa and a lot of stuff with Frank blurred the lines of what was morally right and what was morally wrong. And, I messed up. A lot of people messed up and did things they probably shouldn't have done. It wasn't bad, it wasn't illegal, but just morally looking at it like that, could have been handled a different way. But as time goes on, those lines become thinner and thinner, and then they start getting crossed over a little bit. Now there's people who live on the completely wrong side of morality and are doing crazy things like that whole thing with calling CPS. CPS is there for you to contact them if you have a real concern. But if it's a witch hunt, if it's this mob-like mentality of everyone getting together saying, hey, let's go, report this person a bunch of times just to get them, just to get at them, just to ruin them, just because we don't like them, let's go and do that. That's abuse of CPS. That's abuse of, I don't know, that's just wasting time and stuff like that. Because while CPS was dealing with probably that influx of calls, other calls who needed to be answered, who needed attention, who needed to be looked at, little kids who really needed some saving or to get out of a bad situation, probably fell through the cracks. CPS is already a bad enough agency as it is because they are so understaffed. There's not enough resources to go around. So wasting what little resources they have just to get at somebody because you don't like them, and allowing other kids to go without getting help who actually need it, who might be starving, who might be I don't even want to say the word, but you could imagine a situation where a kid would need to get out of a house. You are helping that problem and contributing to the suffering of that kid, which I have no sympathy for you at all. Yeah, I got kind of heated about that for a while. There's one thing I wanted to say, and then we could end it. There's other things I want to talk about, but those are going to be different videos. I don't want to take up too much of your time because it is Sunday. It is already 30 minutes into the show. Here's some things that I found. I wanted some examples. So I did a lot more than just Google and read the first result. I went and actually used a little bit of critical thinking and went ahead and came up with some examples and everything of situations that people might think is harassment, situations that might think is cyber stalking, situations that might think is, all these cyber crimes and cyber stalking and everything like that. But really they're not. They're just being called that by people who are too sensitive and people who can't understand what the terms really are. So one of them is, I already mentioned, was constructive criticism. Just because I'm talking about someone's video or someone's actions, that's not harassment. I have the right to do that. If I want to say, let me see. Like if I want to say I have, personal issues with when Ophelia and with Jaime, when they started the subscription plan, they can't say that that's harassment against them because I'm voicing my opinion and I'm criticizing their actions. So there's debate teams that practice that. That's practically like a school sport. Making jokes among friends isn't considered harassment. If me and my buddy at work are talking, joking around, and doing little inside jokes about a manager or a supervisor, and if it somehow gets to him, that's not harassment because it wasn't directly to him. It was between two different people. So a lot of these screenshots where two people are talking about a certain individual who's not in the conversation, who it's not directed at them, that's not harassment. That's a whole different thing that is illegal, but it's not harassment. So it makes your argument look a little bit weak when you're saying, look, these people were talking about me in a group. That's harassment. No, it really isn't. Expressing difference of opinions is a really big one. Difference of opinions, people will take that as harassment. The whole thing with the money, with the whole, um, when you use the last 10 minutes of your video to push your Cash App, and I say, hey, I don't do that. I don't need that. That's not what social media is for. Social media isn't another place to beg. That's a difference of opinion. I'm not harassing you. I'm not attacking you by disagreeing with you. I'm just saying what I think about it. It's a little bit like constructive criticism, but it's just me expressing it in different ways. I've said it multiple times. I've made posts about it. I really look down on that whole issue. And then the other one, it's a very thin line because people like claiming victim when something is done accidentally. If someone accidentally, thinking it's a joke, or thinking, it's okay to say it because everyone else is saying it, that kind of situation. And if you want to single out one person who's doing it, but you're okay with other people doing it. Oh, okay. I just thought of an example. I once I made a reference to Jaime calling his followers tweakers. They all call him that. He calls them that. But as soon as I called it, he took, offense to it. Offense was taken to it. He made a couple of comments about it. And, it was an accidental action, just because you're using it, I figured, I could use it. I didn't think anyone was going to get upset or butthurt over it. But that's still not considered harassment. That's just you taking issues with one person when the whole group is doing it. Man, I'm over here really behind. Hello, Lavina. Yeah, this is another one. Like, everyone's real big when it comes to calling people names, when it comes to making fun of people, when it comes to making memes of people, because everyone does it. But they want to report it, they want to cry foul, they want to try and get a page taken down because it's happening to them. That's another sign that maybe social media isn't for you. And I'm not talking about like having a platform. I'm talking about completely being on social media. You can't take words. If words hurt you so bad, it's a fucking war zone out here in social media, to be honest. Yeah. The court system, CPS, they will always push for the family to stay together for unification. Separation is like a last resort, which is, on the kids side, yes, that's good. But if the parents are the ones that keep on messing up when it comes to these instances, that's when it's bad. Like in the state of Texas, let's say you are busted with meth possession as a single mother, busted with meth possession. You don't lose your kids right away. CPS will find like a babysitter kind of system. They will help you get recovery if this is your first offense. The judge will get you, to seek treatment, but you still have your kids. You have someone there watching them with you. You get childcare. You get all this for at least a year, and then they revisit everything in a year, see if you've progressed, see if things have gotten worse, and then that's when you lose your kids. It's not right away. And I could see a lot of people saying like, oh well, Vanessa lost them right away. Well, there was like a lot of back and forth. There was already reports and stuff like that. It's not like CPS showed up that day for it to happen. That was a pre-existing situation, but I'm not going to get into it. I'm just coming up with people who don't know like all the facts, who haven't been here since the beginning, and they'll go with whatever the person they enjoy says and like, okay, that's fact, that's what happens, that's the truth. Ghosting, this total fake situation. Just in case I have my wife listening in the other room, let's say I'm just gonna use I'll use a family member or something. I'm not gonna throw myself into that because the next thing you know, I'm gonna end up singing Lips of an Angel on accident one day, and it's gonna trigger something, and it's gonna become a whole thing. But no, let's say this guy is talking to a girl, things have been going good, there's been constant communication between both of them, and then she starts replying with just okay, okay, leaves him on read, slowly starts disappearing like a ghost. That's ghosting. When you slowly, little by little, start making a separation in communication from each other. That's the term ghosting. Um, that's pretty much what it is. It's more of like a social term. I don't think like companies or anything could ghost you. Once you put your once your private life is on a public platform, it is no longer private. You've seen it with celebrities, you've seen it with politicians. Doesn't matter if it's, on your off hours or if it's in your private home. If you're putting that stuff out there, it can be used. Once something's on the internet, it's on the internet forever. It can't just disappear. Appreciate your voice and all this. Thank you. I try. I don't, I feel like it's more important to get what's really on your mind out there rather than putting on this show, putting on this display, putting on this circus to try and get more eyes on you. Okay? That's what quality is. That's what quality is, because it's actually putting thought into something instead of shooting from the hip. It's actually being real. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm just saying it's about being real and actually looking at the situation as a human being rather than looking at the situation as a victim or looking at the situation as an attacker. That's the way I see these things. Hey, Legend 3, have not seen you in a while. Hope you're doing good, though. Yeah, it might just be a misinterpretation of the term ghosting. I know for a while, a lot of people were using like modern slang incorrectly, and I just thought it was like really cringy and stuff like that. Like the whole receipts thing, sometimes that's used incorrectly. It's basically just, sorry if you're in that age range, but boomers trying to be Gen X. Like, some people just wish they were young forever and can't accept the fact that they're getting old. It's just the way I see it. I'm getting old. I got red hair. I got white hairs and everything like that. I don't mind. Explain Riz. Oh. The way the kids use it, it's basically just like, if you're able to flirt, you got Riz. If you're really good at, picking up girls, they call you the Rizzard. Like, it's just things like that. I forgot it's short for something. I forgot what it is, but basically that's what it is. Like, if I were to get a girl's number, which I never would because that is wrong, and I would never even think about getting another girl's number. I'm putting this on camera. I'll just say that, hey, I got the Riz, I got her number, kind of thing like that. Like someone calling. Can you get ghosting on YouTube, or do you have to delete the person? I think that whole situation was either your account was suspected of being a spam bot. So you kind of like on Facebook, when you get in trouble, you aren't allowed to post or do certain things for a while until, a certain window has passed. I think that's what it could be. It could just be like a soft ban until it gets looked into deeper. I use the word own. No, she used it every other sentence. What blows my mind is that some of these people have crossed the line so bad they actually spent time in jail. Yeah, because jail was not the finish line. The finish line is just beating someone. And when you live your life as a game, as I need to beat this person, or I need to, become better than this person. I need to take this person out. I need to take this person down. Um, you become too competitive and you start losing sight on what's right or wrong because and I'm just playing with this, your whole reason for waking up in the morning is to get revenge on someone. Waking up and seeing, what could we say about this person, or waking up and be like, okay, what did this person do last night? How could we use this? What could we take to the police with this information? Oh, charisma. There we go. Charisma. I knew it wasn't personality, but it was like charisma. What is going on? See, I just wanted to talk about a few little things. I know spoke to Cecilia, and we were supposed to do a little something, but schedules happen. I was supposed to be doing a lot of things today, but instead I ended up cleaning out my garage, going grocery shopping, and cooked a whole bunch of wings right now. That's why I keep going like this, because I feel like I have wing sauce on my face. But I don't log in often anymore because I got so tired of all these same old things. Yeah. And here, look, you could do this little experiment at home on your own time, and you could do this for any influencer. You could even throw me in there. You could go back a month from now and pick any video that's a month old, and it's going to be the same thing. You could go even further back. It's going to be the same thing. Now, some people went ahead and deleted all their videos. In case no one pays attention to these things, I'm a number guy. Someone either privated or deleted about 2 years worth of video, and that resulted in a loss of 668,000 views, which will affect your watch time, because even if you put it on private, you technically lose those hours on your watch time for YouTube, which means it's going to hit the pocket hard. It's going to hit the pocket hard because it shows that some channel lost 75% of their views within 1 day, and that's going to come into question the credibility and longevity of this channel. I still believe 7 platforms should deactivate and go silent for 1 month. And it happens. People have gone silent for a while, and it feels great, to be honest. It feels great, but then at the same time, a lot of people are dependent of this. This is the only source of income, that and Cash App. So I can understand why some people wouldn't want to go away for too long. But if you're able to, it's amazing. You come back with all these different ideas and stuff. I know we started doing like ghost stories a few months back when I disappeared and came back. And then I've been wanting to talk about like my life as a dispatcher. And I wanted to share maybe my top 5 scariest moments, or if anyone's interested in becoming a dispatcher, little tips and what to know and what you probably don't understand when you dial 911 or dial the police, because whether you dial the actual police number or 911, it goes to the same people answer. It's just a different line that rings on our end. But there's times where I had a regular person on call because someone stole their trash cans, and then I get a signal that a 911 call is coming in. Hey, I need to place you on hold. I have a 911 coming through. Hang up, answer the 911, deal with that, hang up, and then go back to the garbage theft. Just real interesting things like that. I think it's awesome. They all use nicknames, which is what I try and stay as far away as possible. I've always known Vanessa as Vanessa. I always speak about Annette as Annette. I use Ophelia's name. Even though we might not all be on the same page every time, even though we might have issues with each other, I still deliver some form of respect. They could call me names, they do, but that just shows the maturity level of, I have no idea how to bother this person, so I'm going to call them the wrong name on purpose. I'm going to make fun of their name on purpose so it bothers them. It doesn't. It just really shows your age. I mean, aside from what your face shows, it shows mentally where you're at. It's been so long. I'm glad I found you again. Hey, always welcome here. I've looked up on Social Blade. Social Blade is an awesome. I use Social Blade and I use a few other ones. I can't remember the name of it, but there's one where you could actually type in how much money they claim to make. I know some have said 200, 300, 400, and you could put in their views and it actually calculates how many people actually watch 100% of their videos. It shows how many people watch only like 2 minutes, then get off, and it calculates all that, which is pretty fun to see. With Social Blade, it will give you their projected lowest and projected highest. It's always going to be the lowest. When you're under 500,000 subscribers, it's always going to be the lowest. When the higher number is based on like brand deals, memberships, and stuff like that, which you really don't get that when you're low. Oh man, I've talked to dispatchers from tow trucks. I did some work with some people who own some tow truck companies, and I talked to them before I knew it was them, and then when I became friends with them, they were like, "Oh yeah, we owe this towing company," and they told me the name. I was like, "Oh, I know you." Like, people are crazy when they get their cars like towed or repoed and stuff like that, and I've had to deal with some of those calls. Um, yeah, a lot of it's pride, and if all you have to show, like if all you have towards your name is a YouTube channel that's not even, registered to you, but using someone else's information, but that's your pride and joy because that's all you have going for in your life right now. Like, that's why people get so sensitive. That's why people want to attack because, hey, I have nothing else going on in my life except this little channel that I have on a website that has billions and billions of accounts. But hey, I have one there, so that's what matters to me. They're talking bad about it. They're trying to bring it down. They're trying to hurt my only pride and joy. I think that's why it is. Like, if they were to strike down my channel and I lost everything, I'll be like, cool, I'm gonna go to Twitch, or oh, I'll just make a new channel. Like, it's no big deal. I'm not gonna start like a campaign or a crusade to go and like take down anyone who like said anything about my channel. People say plenty of things as it is already, and I don't, need to deal with that. The lowest on the channel is $72. You're probably talking about mine. That's the higher end for me because I don't make a lot on here. I've turned off monetization recently, just to show that like it's not needed. Like, I'm not talking about these topics just to make bank. I'm not talking about these topics to for the views or anything like that. I'm talking about these because I just need to talk about them. It's just something on my mind that bothers me. Facts right here. Bottom line, the reason it doesn't bother you is because you're happy in your life. You know their opinion doesn't matter and affect your life anyway. No. If they were to go and say, some people are more sensitive when it comes to things like that. And hey, I understand everyone's built differently. We're all built differently. Some people could take more things than others. Some people have, thicker skin than others. But let's say, they're a group of people is coming after me and saying that like I have AIDS or something. First of all, it's not cool. It's not, something to high five a group of friends. Like, hey, yeah, we said this person has AIDS. Yeah, fuck them. If they said that about me, I'll be like, I know it's not true. It's not gonna bother me. Like, that just proves like how low some people will go just to try and like bother you. But if you know it's not true, if you know what the truth is, there's no point in like looking that way. And I am happy. I am like I tend to not brag. I tend to not say like, oh, I got a promotion, or oh, I got a raise, or oh, I got like this. No, because I don't like to boast. I will like with my friends, like if I get more kills than them on Call of Duty or something, I'll be like, oh, you suck. Like, where's the girlfriend playing for you last round or what? But I mean, I am doing well off. I am. I mean, there's always room for more. It would always be nice to, get a couple of extra, dollars on that paycheck. But I got a nice house. Me and my wife both have our cars. We have our health. We have our daughter that we give everything to. I have a room full of collectibles, and I was going to the garage, and I still have like 7 more like giant bins of stuff. I don't know if anyone's ever interested in me doing a video going through like my collection of comics and statues and figures and all that. I'll do that, if someone wants to learn and talk about that stuff, because I could do that forever. I'm good. Why am I going to let words of someone who I don't even know what they look like, if I don't even know what they sound like, if I don't even care what they do with their life or anything, like why am I going to let them affect me when it's obviously I'm doing okay mentally, I'm doing okay and my status in life, and I'm still young. There's just ways to get better from this point. That sick. That's ghost stories. Oh yeah, we'll do ghost stories. I have a couple of local legends that I've been learning about since I moved over here. Let me see. Hold on, I'm still here. Where is it? Oh, here it is. What's up? I've had a couple people in my life who have written books, and low key, I've been working on that for months also, because I want to self-publish. So that's another reason why I've been like doing like less and less videos, because I'm either writing or brainstorming. But I had a teacher of mine who wrote a pretty good book. You probably can't read that because it's inverted. Right? Is it inverted for you? Let me fix that right there. I had a teacher who wrote this book, Mr. Bowles. He's written a couple of other good books. He's done a lot of panels about aliens. He knows his history from the Valley. He's a really good guy. He's a really good writer. And we could do like a ghost story, or 2 per video. Ghosts of the Rio Grande Valley. Really good book. Oh, I need to actually send this to my cousin, because me and my cousin went to the Valley. He's in Corpus. He also has a YouTube channel that is awesome. And he told me he was staying at a hotel. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then he told me what hotel it was, and I immediately knew. I was like, oh, that's a haunted hotel. But I didn't tell him. I was like, he's probably not going to believe it. So then he hears it from like another one of our cousins, like, oh yeah, that's a ghost hotel. And like he calls me. He's like, did you know that place was haunted? I was all like, yeah, this hotel that's right off of like by 10th near Business, like in between those 2 roads. Yeah, it's a haunted hotel. Like we could talk about stuff like that. But I'm gonna get going. I am thirsty. I forgot to bring my drink with me, even though I bought 4 drinks from Dutch Bros. I didn't bring a single one with me. We get your personal experiences. I feel honestly, without no cap, I'm gonna use some lingo that I shouldn't be. No cap, I feel like I have seen ghosts before in my life. I am a firm believer, and don't even get me started on aliens. Okay, I'm a huge fan of space. I love learning about space. I mean, my logo, everything I do is astronaut related. I'm a firm believer in that also. We could talk about that, some conspiracy theories. We could talk about that kind of stuff. But yeah, I guess I'll let y'all go. Y'all have a good night. Y'all get some rest. And I don't want to say I want to do a video tomorrow. Who knows what I'm going to do tomorrow? I have family coming to stay with me for a couple of days, and this place needs to get cleaned. Like, I ain't cleaned my lizard tank. I got crap to do. I got like a lot of stuff to do, and I need to get it done before I go back to work. So I'm gonna get started on that right now. Y'all have a good night. Thank you for stopping by. Leave a comment, don't leave a comment, leave a like, don't leave a like, whatever it is, whatever makes you feel good. I'm not anyone to tell you what to do.